Arlo, we covered Sect last episode, but it still feels unfinished. Like we learned the teams, but not how they actually win.
By Jupiter's mighty thunder. Exactly. Sect tells you who holds power. Sect rejoicing conditions tell you who has the badge, the office, and the keys.
Or it tells you who gets extra points in a system modern astrology does not even use. Are we sure this is not overcomplicating things?
Overcomplicating? No, this is precision. The basic Sect profile jumpstarts delineation, yes, but if you want the next level, you need to see when a planet is not just in the right team, but fully supported.
So you are saying a planet can be in Sect, but still not operate at full strength?
Exactly. And the reverse too. A planet can be contrary to Sect, but if certain conditions line up, it can still perform with surprising competence. That is why rejoicing conditions matter.
Fine, you have my attention, but I want this to be practical. I want to see how it changes interpretation, not just hear the theory.
You will. Sect rejoicing conditions are the confidence boost that turns a shaky planet into a capable one. And once you learn them, you start spotting the real power structure in any birth chart, fast.
All right, Arlo, show me the keys to the kingdom.
Gladly. Let's dive straight in. By Jupiter's mighty thunder. Welcome back everyone, to episode 26 of Learn Traditional Astrology. We are closing out 2025 strong. I am Arlo, your guide through the stars, and we are charging straight into the new year. Happy New Year everyone. And of course, I am here with the full crew. Ella, Clara, Katrina, and our trusty AI companion, Cherry.
Happy New Year, Arlo. I am glad to be here. Last week we explored Sect, but you promised a deeper dive. I am holding you to that.
Same. We understand the basics. Day chart versus night chart, diurnal and nocturnal planets, in Sect and contrary to Sect. But it feels like the surface layer.
And I want the secrets. If Sect is the power structure, I want to know who is actually running the place.
That is the right attitude, Katrina. Today, we go beyond the basic Sect profile and into Sect rejoicing conditions.
Sect rejoicing conditions. So this is the missing piece.
Exactly. Sect tells you which planets have authority and freedom to act in a way that helps the native. Sect rejoicing conditions are the extra factors that show whether a planet is truly comfortable, capable, and operating at its best.
Okay, but translate that into something I can use. What changes in the interpretation?
Great question. Sect rejoicing conditions help you judge competence. A planet can be in Sect, but still awkward or blocked. A planet can be supported by rejoicing conditions and suddenly it becomes steady, confident, and effective. When a planet is both in Sect and rejoicing, it tends to act in a balanced way and deliver results with less struggle.
So we are grading how well the planet can do its job, not just which team it is on.
Precisely. You are tracking power and performance.
I like this. It sounds like we are going from politics to execution.
By the blazing constellations? Yes. Now, sharpen your attention, because we are going straight into the first Sect rejoicing condition. By Saturn's stern gaze, let us begin with the first Sect rejoicing condition, rejoicing by hemisphere. Cherry, bring us wisdom straight from the source. What does Rhetorius say?
Rhetorius states in Compendium 44. By day, the diurnal planets rejoice when they are above the Earth, while the nocturnal planets rejoice when they are below the Earth. And again, by night, the nocturnal planets rejoice when they are above the Earth, while the diurnal planets rejoice when they are below the Earth.
Beautifully said. In simple terms, planets rejoice when they are placed in the hemisphere that suits their Sect and the Sect of the chart. Diurnal planets like to stay close to the sun's side of the sky. Nocturnal planets prefer the opposite side.
Arlo, slow this down for me. Can we start with a day chart and build it step by step?
Of course, Ella. Cherry, bring up a diagram showing Sect rejoicing by hemisphere in a day chart.
Displaying the illustration, Sect rejoicing by hemisphere in a day chart.
That horizontal line must be the horizon.
Exactly. The horizon divides the chart into two hemispheres. Above the horizon is the upper hemisphere. Below the horizon is the lower hemisphere. This division is crucial for Sect rejoicing.
And this diagram shows which planets are comfortable in a day chart?
Yes, in a day chart, the sun is above the horizon. Diurnal planets rejoice when they are also above the horizon, in the same hemisphere as the sun. Nocturnal planets rejoice when they are below the horizon, opposite the sun.
That makes sense. So they are either working with the sun or staying out of its way.
Well put. Now let us flip the chart. Cherry, show us the night chart version.
Displaying the illustration, Sect rejoicing by hemisphere in a night chart.
In a night chart, the sun is below the horizon. Now the rules reverse. Nocturnal planets rejoice when they are above the horizon. Diurnal planets rejoice when they are below the horizon.
So rejoicing by hemisphere always depends on two things: the sect of the chart and the sect of the planet.
Precisely. Now let us ground this with real charts. Cherry, load Tilak's chart.
Deluxe chart is now displayed.
Tilak has a day chart. That means diurnal planets rejoice above the horizon, and nocturnal planets rejoice below it. Katrina, take the diurnal planets.
Saturn, Jupiter, and morning phase Mercury are all above the horizon. Since this is a day chart, they rejoice by hemisphere.
Perfectly observed. Clara, now check the nocturnal planets.
Mars is below the horizon, so it rejoices by hemisphere. Venus and the Moon are above the horizon, so they do not rejoice by hemisphere.
Excellent. You can already see how this adds nuance. Now let us switch charts. Cherry, bring up Charles Dickens.
Dickens' birth chart is now displayed.
Dickens has a night chart. In a night chart, nocturnal planets rejoice above the horizon, while diurnal planets rejoice below it. Ella, start with the nocturnal planets.
Mars is above the horizon, so it rejoices by hemisphere. The Moon and Venus are near the Sun and placed below the horizon, so they do not rejoice by hemisphere.
Nicely done. Katrina, now the diurnal planets.
Saturn and morning phase Mercury are below the horizon, so they rejoice by hemisphere. Jupiter is above the horizon, so it does not rejoice by hemisphere.
By the blazing constellations, excellent work. You can see how this condition quietly boosts some planets while leaving others less supported, even when they are in sect. And this is only the beginning. Next, we move from the sky to the zodiac itself as we explore rejoicing by zodiacal sign. By Mercury's swift wings, let us move to our second sect rejoicing condition. Rejoicing by zodiacal sign. The rule here is clean and elegant. Diurnal planets rejoice in masculine signs. Nocturnal planets rejoice in feminine signs.
Let me see if I have this right. The Sun, Jupiter, Saturn, and morning phase Mercury rejoice in the masculine signs: Aries, Gemini, Leo, Libra, Sagittarius, and Aquarius. And the Moon, Venus, Mars, and evening phase Mercury rejoice in the feminine signs: Taurus, Cancer, Virgo, Scorpio, Capricorn, and Pisces.
Perfectly stated, Ella. Simple rules often carry the deepest power.
But Arlo, something feels off. Mars is fiery and masculine by nature. Would he not prefer masculine signs instead?
Sharp eye, Clara. You are right to question that. By gender, Mars does lean masculine, and some ancient astrologers did consider that. But by sect logic, Mars is a nocturnal planet. He rejoices in feminine signs by sect, not by gender. Think of it this way. In feminine signs, Mars is moderated. His actions become more controlled and his outcomes less destructive.
That actually makes a lot of sense. Less raw force, more precision.
Exactly. Now let us see this rule in action. Cherry, bring up Tilak's chart.
Deluxe birth chart is now displayed.
Katrina, start with Tilak's diurnal planets. Which ones rejoice by sign?
The Sun is in Leo, a masculine sign, so it rejoices by sign. Jupiter is in Aries, also masculine, so it rejoices as well. Saturn is in Cancer, a feminine sign, so Saturn does not rejoice by sign.
Well done. Now, Ella, examine Tilak's nocturnal planets.
The Moon is in Aries, Venus is in Leo, and Mars is in Libra. All three are masculine signs. Since nocturnal planets rejoice in feminine signs, none of them rejoice by sign in Tilak's chart.
Clean analysis. Now let us switch charts. Cherry, bring up Charles Dickens.
Dickens' birth chart is now displayed.
Clara, analyze Dickens' diurnal planets for rejoicing by sign.
The Sun is in Aquarius and Jupiter is in Gemini. Both are masculine signs, so they rejoice by sign. Saturn is in Capricorn, which is feminine, so Saturn does not rejoice by sign.
Excellent. Ella, finish us off with Dickens' nocturnal planets.
Venus is in Pisces, a feminine sign, so she rejoices by sign. The moon is in Sagittarius and Mars is in Aries. Both are masculine signs, so they do not rejoice by sign.
Outstanding work. You can already see how this adds another layer of refinement to planetary condition. And we are not done yet. Next, we turn to another important consideration: rejoicing by solar phase. By the blazing constellations, we now arrive at the third sect rejoicing condition, rejoicing by solar phase. This one sounds technical, but with the right image, it clicks fast. Cherry, bring up the illustration from Ancient Astrology, Volume 2 by Demetra George.
Displaying the illustration titled Sect Rejoicing by Solar Phase.
Excellent. With this diagram in front of us, the logic becomes clear. The diurnal planets, Saturn and Jupiter, become more diurnal and more masculine when they rise before the sun. That is their morning phase. When they do, they rejoice by solar phase.
So if Saturn or Jupiter rises before the sun, they are happier and stronger by sect?
Exactly. Morning phase boosts their diurnal nature. Now let us flip to the nocturnal team. Venus and Mars become more nocturnal and more feminine when they rise after the sun sets. That is their evening phase. When they are visible in the night sky, they rejoice by solar phase.
That makes the symmetry very clear. Day planets before the sun, night planets after the sun.
Well said. Now an important rule. A planet cannot rejoice by solar phase if it is too close to the sun.
Because of combustion?
Precisely. Combustion weakens a planet. To count as rejoicing by solar phase, a planet must be in the correct phase and between 12 and 120 degrees away from the sun.
Got it. Too close to the sun means no rejoicing.
What about Mercury? Does this rule apply to him?
Mercury is the exception. Rejoicing by solar phase does not apply to Mercury because his sect is already defined by whether he is in the morning or evening phase.
And the moon must be different too.
She is. For the moon, we look at waxing and waning. Cherry, bring up the lunar phase diagram.
Displaying the illustration of the moon showing waxing and waning phases.
Clara, walk us through this.
The moon is waxing from new moon to full moon. During this time she increases in light and moves up to 180 degrees ahead of the sun. After the full moon she begins waning, decreasing in light and moving up to 180 degrees behind the sun until the next new moon.
Beautifully explained. The moon's phase determines her sect rejoicing. A waxing moon rejoices in a day chart because light is increasing. A waning moon rejoices in a night chart because light is decreasing.
Let us test this with real charts.
Exactly my thought. Cherry, bring up Tilak's chart. Katrina, you are up.
In Tilak's chart, Saturn and Jupiter are diurnal planets and both are in their morning phase, so they rejoice by solar phase. Mars is in his evening phase, so he also rejoices by solar phase. Venus is too close to the sun, so her phase cannot be counted. Tilak has a day chart, but the moon is waning, so the moon does not rejoice by phase.
Excellent analysis. Now Ella, take Dickens.
In Charles Dickens' chart, Saturn is in the morning phase, so he rejoices by solar phase. Jupiter is in the evening phase, so he does not. Venus and Mars are both nocturnal planets in their evening phase, so they rejoice by solar phase. Dickens has a night chart and the moon is waning, which means the moon also rejoices by phase.
Outstanding. You can now see how solar phase adds precision to sect analysis. Next, we bring all of this together. It is time to grade sect.
I have been waiting for this part.
By Jupiter's mighty thunder, now that we understand all the sect conditions, it is time to do something powerful. We are going to grade sect objectively. Cherry, bring up our sect grading table.
Displaying the sect grading table.
Take a good look at this. What this table shows is how we move from theory to practice. We start with the most important question first. Is the planet in sect or contrary to sect? That single distinction sets the entire tone.
I can see that clearly. All planets that are in sect receive A or B grades. Anything contrary to sect drops straight into C or D territory.
Exactly. Being in sect is the foundation. That is why it carries the most weight. Sect rejoicing conditions do not replace the basic sect status. They refine it.
So rejoicing by hemisphere, sign, and solar phase act like performance bonuses?
Perfectly, said Ella. Rejoicing by hemisphere is given the most importance among the rejoicing conditions. It shows whether the planet is operating in the right half of the chart relative to the sun. Solar phase and zodiacal sign further sharpen the result.
I like how structured this is. Primary condition first, refinements second. Very clean logic.
That is the beauty of traditional astrology. Clear hierarchy, clear judgment. Now notice something important. A planet that is contrary to Sect never escapes the lower grades, even if it rejoices in other ways.
So a contrary to Sect planet can improve, but it never fully redeems itself?
Precisely. It may function better, but it is still swimming upstream. That struggle matters in real-life outcomes.
Arlo, what about the sun? Does the table look different for him?
Sharp eye, Ella. The sun is special. He can only rejoice by zodiacal sign. He does not rejoice by hemisphere or solar phase in the same way. So his grading scheme is simplified.
Displaying the Sun Sect grading table.
When the sun is in Sect and in a masculine sign, he reaches the highest grade. When he is contrary to Sect, even his best expression is limited.
That makes the sun much easier to evaluate.
Exactly. Simple, direct, and powerful. Now that we have the grading system in place, it is time to put it to work.
Let me guess. Tilak and Dickens?
By the blazing constellations, you read my mind. Let us calculate their Sect grades and see this system come alive. By Saturn's stern gaze, now it is time to put everything together. Cherry, bring up Tilak's birth chart and calculate the Sect grades for his in Sect planets.
Tabulating Sect grades for Tilak's in Sect planets. Sun receives A++ in Sect and placed in a masculine sign. Jupiter receives A++ in Sect, in a masculine sign, in the same hemisphere as the Sun, and in the morning phase. Saturn receives A+, in Sect, in the same hemisphere as the Sun, and in the morning phase. Mercury receives A, in Sect and in the same hemisphere as the Sun.
Beautiful work, Cherry. Clara, walk us through what this tells us.
Tilak's diurnal planets have strong Sect grades. They have authority and confidence to act in a stable and productive way. Based purely on Sect, Jupiter stands out as the most positive planet in his chart. The Sun and Jupiter are placed in favorable houses, so their strength flows toward constructive and visible life topics. Saturn and Mercury are placed in the 12th house, which is challenging, but Saturn is placed in his house of joy.
Excellent clarity, Clara. Now, Cherry, let us look at the contrary to Sect planets.
Displaying Sect grades for Tilak's contrary to Sect planets. Moon receives D contrary to Sect with no rejoicing conditions. Venus receives D contrary to Sect with no rejoicing conditions. Mars receives C+, contrary to Sect but rejoicing by hemisphere and by solar phase.
Well done, Katrina, your analysis.
The Moon and Venus are clearly weakened since they are contrary to Sect and lack any rejoicing conditions. They operate with restriction and discomfort. Mars stands out as the most negative planet by Sect, even though his grade is softened to C+ because he rejoices by hemisphere and evening phase. The nocturnal planets are placed in favorable houses, but the Moon is opposite her house of joy. Mars being contrary to Sect in the 3rd house suggests strain and conflict around siblings, communication, or daily interactions.
By the blazing constellations, that was sharp analysis. Now let us shift gears. Cherry, bring up Charles Dickens' chart and grade his in Sect planets.
Calculating Sect grades for Dickens in Sect planets. Moon receives B+, in Sect and waning. Venus receives B++, in Sect, in a feminine sign, and in the evening phase. Mars receives A+, in Sect, placed opposite the Sun's hemisphere, and in the evening phase.
Excellent. Ella, your take.
The nocturnal planets in Dickens' chart are clearly empowered. They operate with confidence and authority. Based on Sect, Venus emerges as the most positive planet. The Moon and Venus are placed in favorable houses, so their strength supports visible success and supportive relationships. Mars is in the 8th house, which complicates how his strength is expressed.
Nicely balanced, Ella. Cherry, now show us the contrary to Sect planets.
Displaying Sect grades for Dickens contrary to Sect planets. Sun receives D+, contrary to Sect but in a masculine sign. Jupiter receives D+, contrary to Sect but in a masculine sign. Saturn receives C+, contrary to Sect, in the same hemisphere as the Sun, and in the morning phase. Mercury receives C contrary to Sect and in the same hemisphere as the Sun.
Thank you, Cherry. Clara, bring it home.
Saturn is the most negative planet by Sect in Dickens' chart. Even though he is softened to C+ due to rejoicing by hemisphere and solar phase, he remains constrained. The diurnal planets are mostly placed in favorable houses, but the Sun sits in the 6th house, which limits its expression. Saturn being contrary to Sect in the 5th house suggests difficulty or heaviness connected to creativity, pleasure, or children.
Superb work, team. By Jupiter's mighty thunder, this is where technique becomes judgment. Sect grades give us hierarchy, clarity, and perspective. Next, we step back and look at the bigger picture of planetary condition as a whole. By Jupiter's mighty thunder, it is time to zoom out and get perspective. Clara, when we analyze Sect, what comes first?
The Sect of the chart and the Sect status of each planet. Those are the starting points for judging a planet's condition.
Exactly. Whether a planet is in Sect or contrary to Sect is the most important foundation.
And that immediately gives us something powerful. We can identify the most positive planet and the most negative planet in the chart.
Spot on. That single step jumpstarts delineation and keeps us focused. So what sharpens the picture next?
The Sect rejoicing conditions. They help refine how strong or weak a planet really is.
Yes, a planet in Sect that also rejoices acts with confidence and balance. A planet contrary to Sect that rejoices is still challenged but less strained.
Well said. But remember, Sect is only one layer. Sometimes a contrary to Sect benefic still plays a major role in the native's life. And even a contrary to Sect malefic can be productive. House placement, essential dignity, and solar phase all matter. We will tackle those in future lessons.
I can really feel the depth now. Traditional astrology is far richer than I imagined.
It feels like we are peeling back layers and getting closer to how charts truly work.
That is our goal: clear, practical, and usable traditional astrology.
And if you need a refresher on the basics, make sure to watch our previous episode, Planetary Sect Explained.
Keep questioning, keep refining, and always keep your eyes on the skies. When traditional astrology is guided by real structure, its power becomes clear.
Until next time, fellow seekers.
Bye.
Bye.
Transmission complete. See you in the next episode.